Hi everyone, welcome for another episode of our RTG Academy podcast. I'm Ryan Thompson,
Michael Alcaraz.
Ethan Hamilton.
and today we'll be discussing everything surrounding college placement.
And I guess the first spot I want to start at is with it being summer, and for a lot of the kids that you guys do see at these camps, they're going to be in their junior years transitioning into their senior year, right? And what I've noticed as being a former athlete is that junior, like that summer before senior year, is going to be the most important summer probably of their high school career. So what would you guys recommend for them to be best prepared to get noticed by these scouts, these recruiters, and these coaches from these colleges?
Well, it's not just like one thing they got to do now. It's the preparation that they have leading into this moment, into the summer, right? Like they've had to do the work to be noticed, and then now it's like just kind of piecing the puzzle together, getting the word out there. Making sure that these schools are coming to watch them and trying to figure out where the best fit for them is each individually, because everyone's different, right? Like not everyone's a star-studded Division I athlete. So you just gotta look for what's best for you.
Yeah.
Really.
I agree with Mike there, and I think, it's never too late to start. I'm a firm believer in that, and if you haven't put the work in before where you got noticed earlier, the summer is important, as you mentioned, Ethan. Dedicate, the summer, that 3 months, instead of going on vacation, you know what, I'm going to work on my craft. If I'm a goalkeeper and I want to be noticed, I'm going to have to go to goalkeeper camps. I'm going to train every single day to get better first and foremost. And once I'm better, then I'm talking about capturing those moments when I'm good, I'm making that into a highlight video. So that is part of the process. And once I have that highlight video, then it's just about putting it out there so people could see. And thank God for social media. I could capture my entire summer of me working and create a buzz around that and show it up on YouTube, show it up on TikTok, Instagram. And, from there, you never know what happened. You never know who's watching.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely just keep putting the work in and keep putting down the grind. Like we're living in a world where, or at a time I should say, where we're filming this podcast right now on 2 phones. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy. You can set up your tripod behind your goal, let it record for whatever your training session for your game.
You can get a buddy to come with you one day at practice and be like, hey.
Yeah, man. If you're telling me you don't have a friend that wants to help you succeed in life, then you got to find new friends. So that's one. But you definitely, that's one thing. And then I think sometimes you don't even need that. Like if you want it, you'll find a way. Go set your phone up and go record and cut your clips on your own, and then go from there. So.
And I guess to get a little more technical with those highlight videos is that in those highlight videos, what do you guys? It of course it depends on the coaches and it depends on the players, but to speak bluntly and broadly, what should these kids be showing in these highlight videos? Like from a technical aspect of being a goalkeeper, but maybe some things that aren't necessarily technical.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, you got to capture you. I can't be Michael Alcaraz and I can't be Ethan Hamilton. I have to be Ryan Thompson. So what is Ryan Thompson good at? What are my strengths? Those are the things that I want to highlight because that's what's going to impress whoever it is at the end of the day. They're not going to come here and get me because I try to be like somebody else. They're going to come because, man, Ryan is super athletic. Ryan is super technical. Ryan, so I'm going to have all these personalities that seems like he's a great leader. Those are the things that you want to capture in those videos. And if you capture that, those are things that are in your control. You put it out there, and hopefully it's part of the interest of some place that you want to go or some coaches out there.
Don't try to be something you're not for sure. Don't create a highlight tape that's not Ethan Hamilton, not Ryan Thompson, not Get to the meat of who you are and what you do best first.
Yep.
Do it right away, obviously within the context of goalkeeping and whatever, make sure it fits goalkeeping, right? Like I'm not gonna show, if I'm a goalkeeper, I'm not gonna go show a time that I try to dribble through 15 people if that's not my strength, that no chance I'm gonna be putting that in the clip. Yeah. So just get to what you do well, get to it early, highlight it, and then go from there.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we could dive into it a little bit more. Okay, now I highlight my strengths. There's things that coaches actually want to see. We want to see goalkeepers coming for crosses. We want to see goalkeeper distributing. And let's get a little bit more deeper into the distribution. There's a movement going on out there. Everybody wants a side volley, right? And it looks cool and all that fun stuff. but maybe I'm not a side volley guy. Maybe I'm a guy who's really good at catching the ball and distributing that with my hand. So that in the moment we talk about like highlighting your strengths. Because if you try to side volley, you'll see that you're not that good in it. You know, it might look cool in your eyes, but it's not effective. Oh, why am I going to side volley when then it's like a 5-yard pass and all this stuff? So utilize what you're good at in those moments, specifically in that distribution moment. So we talk about coming across, we talk about distribution. You know, coaches also want to see shot stopping. You know, how are you in 1v1 situations? So you highlight those things that, you know, the game requires for your position.
Yeah, and I think we should put a disclaimer out there is like, yes, like we're all in support of making these highlight videos, showing your personality, showing your character, showing your technical ability, all that kind of stuff. But this is just the appetizer. You shouldn't expect.
Don't expect every school to call you back after a highlight tape. For sure.
Yeah, exactly. Don't expect to be signed to an MLS contract or a European contract based off a highlight video. Like, of course, you need to put in that work. You need to put in that preparation. But have fun with it. I think that's, as a person that edits videos and does all this stuff all day, like, have fun with it. Show your personality. Yes, of course, at the front and foremost, show your technical ability and what coaches want to see. And keep in mind, like, you're showing this to people who know what they're looking at. You're not showing this to, like, everyday people that don't know what they're looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so just get to it. Don't narrate it. Don't put any text over it. Just get to the point of it, right? If you're athletic shot stopper, show me your best save first. And then if you're not, if you're athletic, then show me the crosses that you can pick out.
Yep.
And then kind of go from there. If maybe you're not as athletic, but you have a good distribution, show me your distribution game. Let's see what you got, and then go into the stage from that. Like, highlight your strengths. Like, dude, I'm 5'8". I'm not the, how do you say, like, I was good at crosses, but I wasn't like.
That's not your.
That wasn't my
forte. Yeah.
I was athletic. I read the game well. Made good decisions off my line 1v1, but like. I'll show my athleticism first, and my Jorge Campos ability with dribbling out the people after, like that. That's what I'm going to show.
Yeah.
But and the other thing is, like, every coach is different. They're not going to want an athletic goalkeeper if they don't know how to play. Like, some coaches want a goalkeeper that is that fancy side volley type of player. Teach their own.
Yep.
Don't be discouraged if they say no. Move on. Find the next one. One door closes, another one will open.
100%. Yeah.
And I guess then, now that we've kind of covered, like, first and foremost putting yourself out there, right, to be recognized by these scouts and these recruiters, but I think the next step is I guess this is for, like, a select audience, is like, how do you handle whenever these coaches start coming out to your game? Like, do you approach them? Do you kind of just sit back and look cool and wait for them to come talk to you? I find it weird. Like, it's so reminiscent of, like, dating. Like, it's weird, like, because you're kind of courting yourself to these coaches, you know what I mean?
And you're showing your ability on the field, you're showing them your character, you're showing them what you're like as a person, so it's a fine balance, right? Like, if you're sitting there trying to act all cool, shit, no one's probably going to want to even deal with you. Like, there's very few players in this world that are good enough to deal with, like, crap attitude and a bad personality, so right, it is a fine balance. It is 100% a fine balance, but I think there's a level of character that you have to have when going through the recruiting process, for sure. Like, you got to be proactive in your own search. You got to do the work. You got on and off the field. You got to be approachable. You got to be personable. You have to be someone that you can talk to. No, like, you have to be all these good qualities, but for sure, it is a delicate balance where you don't want to come off as too cool. You also don't want to be like.
Just to add a little more to what Mike is saying, because we get in deep conversation about these things all the time. It's the game. The game teaches you everything you need to know about someone. I'm a big fan of that. You see their leadership skills on the field. You see their technical and tactical ability. Your physical ability. The game tells you all you need to know. So if I am going to watch someone and they already know, of course, at the end of the day, we're going to have a conversation. But if I'm the goalkeeper, right, or the outfield player, for say, and me and this coach didn't have a prior conversation, and okay, I saw like 5-6 different scouts there. If at the end of the game, I'm not approached by one of these scouts, it tells me what I need to know. It tells me maybe I just didn't do enough. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. They expect scouts to come and knock on their doors, yes, or they need to go and talk to all these scouts, and be a nice person and all this, but it's all well and good being nice, but nice didn't get the job done. You get what I mean? You still got to perform on the field. Because these coaches are not there because you're a nice person. They're there because they want a great athlete who so happens to be a nice person as well. So do your job on the field first and foremost. You will know if they're interested because they will reach out to you or your scouts. But I would not force the issue to go over there and make an in-person, hey, here I am. If it happens naturally, no problem. Be kind, be respectful, but don't go to your way to do it unless you balled out that day.
I mean, I agree with you in the sense that the work does the talking on the field, but I think it just never hurts to be a good person. Like we talk about, I just talk about the younger, I guess, generation, not necessarily this generation, but just youths in general, and sometimes lacking a little bit of respect or being like, it never hurts to just say thank you for being there, appreciate you. I'm not asking you to pick me for my team, but it's like, hey coach, I saw you there today, appreciate it.
Yeah.
And if they don't come back at you with anything, then
you don't lose nothing. You don't
lose anything with being a good person.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I can get down with that 100%. This is what.
But don't expect them to come at you and be like, hey, oh my God, thank you so much, appreciate your enthusiasm, thank you for.
You shaking hands with me made my day.
Don't expect anything in return, but in the don't be kind just because you expect it in return. Be kind because that's who you are.
So let me ask you a question. Right? How often do you see this in today's generation? They're being overly kind because they're expecting the coach to return.
That's what I'm saying. Don't expect it.
But how often you see it?
Oh, I mean, you see it a lot.
It's one of the biggest issues we have here.
You see it a lot. You got to do. You're an athlete first, right? Like you have to do the work. And if you're showing me you're a good person, that adds bonus points to you. But don't be a good person just because you expect me to give you a roster spot or expect me to give you a callback, right? Like if you really want to come to my school, we'll make something happen. You'll know. But if I'm not reaching out to you, then chances are that
it's just not the best fit.
It's not the best fit for you. But then in the same breath, just because I'm not reaching out doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, and it doesn't mean that there's other schools in your horizon. Like you got to keep your options open. You got to keep your eyes open. Don't get hung up on one program. Don't get hung up on one school.
But then, it's the expectations now. What can I say? We could role play this, right? Ryan Thompson didn't put the work in. I didn't put the work in, but I expect to be scouted by University of South Florida or, Stanford or Clemson. And I'm sending 1,000 emails to all these scouts and, here's my highlight video, here's all this stuff. And my expectation is to go there, and I'm closing the door on every other opportunity and potential suitors that may give me an opportunity. You're finding this happening so often. They're giving up their college career because they have this expectation to go here, and they don't put the work to get there as yet.
That's why I say don't close other doors, don't close other opportunities. That's what I'm saying. Like, school's gonna tell you no, but you can't want to force your way and force a card into that one program.
Yeah.
You have to be realistic that that might not be the fit for me, and if it's not what I want, but there might be a better fit for me. But if I'm not open to those open to those opportunities and realistic about those opportunities, then they're just gonna pass me by.
Also, not to burst the bubbles of the kids listening, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but not all these recruiters, not all these coaches, they're not the best of people, right? So they won't necessarily be.
I don't want to say yes to that because we know a lot of these
but you know what I mean. Yes, they might whenever they send you those emails and they want to contact you, they might not even be wanting you to come to these to their school. They might just want you to come to your camps and to these events, and that's okay. But just be wary of that. You know what I mean?
Here's a sad reality, man. When you look at the college system, especially with soccer. Maybe in some program you have the head coach that's being paid, then you have one assistant, maybe a second assistant being paid, and there are 4 people, and then you have the ops, directors of ops. There's maybe another two people on that staff right now that's not being paid. How do they make their money? They make their money through camps. So now these emails that's been sent out, and because a lot of these kids get, oh my God, I just got an email from Stanford to come to their ID camp. Oh, I'm being recruited. No, you're not being recruited. You're being exploited. You're getting there, and this might hurt and rub a lot of people just run the wrong way. But the reality is, they're going to those environments, with a perception of being recruited, but they just want you to come to fill their camp so they could get money to pay their staff. That's all there is. It's just a vicious cycle. And as I mentioned, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go, but you go like, you know what? I am going there because I'm ready and prepared, and I'm going to turn somebody's head. If I'm not ready and if I'm not prepared because I didn't put the work, I'm not going there to expect that the world is going to be, Stanford is going to give me, and we're just using these schools as example. They're just going to give me an opportunity because one, I'm nice, two, I'm paying my way to get there. And that's a lot of misconception. It's a grimy business, and it's really sad. Really sad.
Yeah, I mean, if all you're getting back is camp invites, you gotta
take it with a grain of salt.
You gotta take it with a grain of salt, because maybe, they don't know. Like, there's, now let's look at the other side of the spectrum, right? Like kids who go under the radar, not for nothing. They just, whatever it is, they just go under the radar. They don't get noticed for whatever reason. Maybe not attending the right tournaments, not being in the right, youth system. They're just going unnoticed, and there's no one at this table can say that there isn't talent that goes unnoticed. We all can agree on that. So if you fall in that category, okay, maybe go to the ID camp because that's realistically your only opportunity. But go in with like you said, with a grain of salt. Like, don't expect that you're gonna get a call right after, because it's tough. So I don't know. There's no one right way, and it's easy to get lost in the system. It is, and I think that's my biggest message is more than anything. That's why you got to be proactive in your own search and find ways to do it. Yes, your playing has to do the talking on the field, but you got to also be proactive in your search because it's not always going to fall to you.
And which lead me to my next thing. I'm a big fan. One, it's never too late to get opportunity anywhere. You could start anywhere. But the constant is you got to put the work, right? The next thing is if you're realistic in your expectation, there's tons of opportunities out there. Yeah. Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAI, JUCO, you name it. And at the end of the day, you go where you're wanted. Be the best you can be in that environment, create that value, and then spark other interests. That's where it's going to go to. Don't set your expectation to the roof and expect that it's going to happen when you only give certain amount of work here. Put yourself out there. You have the social media. Do the work, put it out there, let the world see. And then the rest will take care of itself. Be nice. Be humble, be hungry, be honest. Be humble, hungry, and honest. Put the work, understand where you are, and the rest will take care of itself.
I think that's a good way to end on, you know what I mean? And I think this is a good episode to give perspective to these kids, these high school kids more importantly, and maybe even the parents that are watching. You know what I mean? Be realistic with your kids, keep an eye out, protect them, of course, during this process. But I mean, if you guys want to continue seeing more stuff with Ryan and Mike and this kind of sit-down format, please comment below with topics, ideas. Let us know, give us feedback. If you didn't like this, let us know why you didn't like this. You know what I mean?
And in order to do that, you gotta subscribe. So make sure you subscribe, all right? To let us know what we're doing, what you want from us. So.
Exactly, and hopefully we can keep doing these more often.
No, we will.